Welcome to the ultimate guide on how to leverage YouTube as a game developer. Should you as a game developer start a YouTube channel? Why should you do that, or why shouldn't you do that? There are good reasons for both of that. If you decide to start a YouTube channel, which kind of content should you make? And how do you grow on YouTube as a game developer? Those are the questions I will answer in this video, and as I really want to make this video as useful as possible, I'll also have a look at your game dev YouTube channels at the end of this video. In case you're wondering, that's why this video is so long probably. Just to give you a little bit of context, my name is Jonas. I've started this YouTube channel less than 2 years ago, and I'm already at 17,000 subscribers, which to be fair is not the most amazing growth I've ever seen, but it's still quite decent growth, and the channel is still growing. The growth is accelerating as well. I've made a ton of games in my life already. I've made my first commercial game last year. It's called Islanders. It has sold over 200,000 copies. Of course, there's still a lot I need to learn. I haven't figured this 100% out yet. I just want to make this as useful as possible for my fellow game developers out there. Let's dive right into it. First question, should you start a YouTube channel? Of course, there are advantages and disadvantages to starting a YouTube channel. I'll just go through them and then I'll draw a conclusion. The first advantage is that YouTube allows you to build an audience. That's also why I started this YouTube channel. It helps to get your games seen. YouTube is basically a free marketing tool. You can sign up for free. It doesn't cost you any money, and you can make free marketing for all of your games. The second thing that I found surprisingly useful is that you can get the community involved in the development of your game. And the first most obvious way that works is, of course, by letting them give you feedback. In my last video, I showed the beginning section of my game, for example, and I asked people for feedback. And the amount of feedback you get is absolutely overwhelming. If you have a decently sized audience, that is. How to build a decently sized audience, we'll come to that later. Also, you can use YouTube kind of to feel out if people are interested in your game. You can kind of feel out, is this something people want to play? And of course, there are a lot of other ways you can get your community involved into the development of your game. For example, one thing I'm doing as well at the moment is I'm having my community involved in the playtesting of my current game, Will You Snail? This YouTube channel provided me with a lot of awesome playtesters for my games. Pretty much as many as I want, more or less. That constant feedback loop where you make something and then you show it off and see how people react, that just instantly will create a higher quality product than just sitting in your room by yourself and not getting any feedback at all. I feel like this YouTube game development thing creates a very organic feedback loop that really allows you to make the best out of your game. Then another huge advantage I feel like is that YouTube can give you a second leg to stand on. We all know game development is kinda risky. You never know how much money you're gonna make. So I feel like if game development for some reason one day doesn't really work out, or there's a little bit of a down, I at the very least still have YouTube. I can still make a little bit of money off of YouTube. Of course, right now at the moment, my channel is not quite big enough to really monetize it in a meaningful way. But like in a year or 2 years from now, that will definitely be possible, I think. And another thing that I want to mention here is that YouTube also opens up a lot of cool opportunities that otherwise you would not have had. For example, recently I collaborated with Blackthorn Prod. You might know him. He is a very nice game developer on YouTube as well, and I've been watching his videos for a long time. And I think if I hadn't started this YouTube channel, then I just wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to work with him. So if you have a YouTube channel, then suddenly all kinds of people start reaching out to you for different kinds of collabs and different kinds of deals and offers. So having an audience, having a YouTube channel definitely opens up a lot of cool opportunities as well. The next big advantage I feel like is that by talking about game development, by talking about your game, it makes you understand those things a lot better. It makes you understand your own game a lot better. It makes you understand game development a lot better. It's basically learning by teaching, because if you want to teach something, first of all, you have to understand it yourself. I've learned so much by making these YouTube videos, because I always make these little note sheets right before I make a video. And just by doing these and then explaining my thoughts to the camera, I feel like I've learned so much. You get better at talking, you get better at communicating, you understand your own games better, you understand game development better. That is another huge advantage of making game development videos on YouTube. And then the last massive advantage is that making YouTube videos can just be very enjoyable. And you get to help people out. What else do you want? Now, I'm sure if you've heard all of those advantages, it can feel very tempting to just start your YouTube channel. But hear me out, because you haven't listened to the disadvantages yet. There are definitely disadvantages as well. The first huge disadvantage is the time investment. It just takes so much time of your development. Almost 50% of my time is spent on YouTube. Take this week, for example. I spent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on making games, and now I'm spending Thursday to record this video and then Friday to edit this video. So almost half of my week, usually it's pretty much half of my week, is spent on making YouTube content. That is huge, because that is time that you could use to make your game. And then kind of what goes along with it is that you need to invest a lot of time in order to make it pay off. I'm pretty sure you're aware that growth on social media platforms most of the time is exponential, meaning that after 1 year, you might have 1,000 subscribers. After 2 years, you might have 10,000. After 3, you might have 100,000. So it's not a linear growth, it's an exponential growth, which means at the beginning, the growth is very, very slow, and then it gets faster and faster the bigger you are, basically. And that just means it will take a long time for your work to pay off. Then the second big disadvantage is that it can be quite stressful for a couple of reasons. First of all, you have to stay somewhat consistent. You have to upload regularly. So that always puts pressure on to come up with new video ideas, to start recording new videos, start editing. That always creates a little bit of stress. Then you have, of course, the stress of having to manage a community. You have the stress of the numbers that go up and down. That can kind of stress a lot of people out a bit. Another disadvantage is that investing a lot of time into YouTube is a little bit of a gamble, because you don't know for sure how much it will pay off, or if it will pay off at all. And another disadvantage that I found is that that flood of opinions that you get from feedback sometimes can also just be a little bit overwhelming. Like 100 different ideas all pointing you into different directions. It can be very challenging to filter through that at times. And I don't want to be like, ooh, I'm so poor, people are giving me feedback on my game. On YouTube, you'll be confronted with a lot of different opinions, not only about your game, but also with opinions about yourself, about your person. You need to be able to deal with all of those opinions that are coming your way. You'll need to be able to deal with opinions about your game, and you'll need to be able to deal with opinions about yourself. And on top of that, the amount of opinions you'll get about yourself and about your game just will keep increasing and increasing as your channel grows, and that doesn't necessarily make things easier. You gotta be able to take opinions to your face. So here's my conclusion for this first question: who should start a YouTube channel and who shouldn't? I think there's 2 criteria. First one, you should only start a YouTube channel if you plan to stay in the industry for a long time. Growing on YouTube is a lot of work, and it will take a long time for that work to pay off. So starting a YouTube channel only makes sense if you stick around, if you stay in the games industry for a long time. If you plan to do that, sure, start a YouTube channel. And the second big criteria that we don't have to forget is only start a YouTube channel if you actually enjoy making videos. Because of course, if you don't enjoy making videos, then making videos for 3-4 years will be very hard. I just want to make sure to let you know that making videos is not for everybody. You can also succeed as an indie game developer without having a YouTube channel. YouTube is not mandatory. If you don't start a YouTube channel, you'll have a lot more time to work on your game, which is a big advantage. On the other hand, if you do start a YouTube channel, it'll be easier to get the word out there. It'll offer a lot of cool new possibilities and opportunities that otherwise you wouldn't have had. So just decide yourself what makes more sense for you. I can't make that decision for you. Okay, so let's say you've decided you want to start a YouTube channel. The next big question you probably have is, which kind of content should you make? Which kind of videos should you make? Simple answer to that is, you should make videos that you want to make, but you should also make videos that people want to watch. And you want to find the middle ground between those 2 groups. That's the sort of videos you want to make. So now the question, of course, is firstly, how do you find out what people want to watch? And also finding out what you want to make sometimes can be a little bit tricky as well. I can tell you the only solution to that is experiment. If you just try a bunch of different things, a couple of them will work. You'll find out what you enjoy making, and you'll also find out what people enjoy watching. Just to give you a little bit of additional inspirations, as a game developer, there are pretty much 3 big types of videos that you can make on YouTube and that have been proven to work pretty well. The first one is devlogs. In case you don't know what a devlog is basically just you documenting your progress that you've made on your game. Devlogs are definitely the most beginner-friendly type of content you can make on YouTube as a game developer. They just potentially have the biggest audience you can reach. You don't necessarily need to be a game developer in order to enjoy watching devlogs. Pretty much anybody can enjoy a well-edited devlog, because Usually you watch devlogs for the entertainment value and for getting a little bit of a feel of how it's like to be a game developer, but you don't need to be a game developer in order to enjoy devlogs. So I feel like that's a big advantage of devlogs. And then another big advantage of devlogs that makes it kind of the most beginner-friendly kind of content is that it doesn't require a lot of credibility. Like the other two types of content I will tell you about in a second, they require a lot more credibility. Devlogs don't require a lot of credibility. You can be a 12-year-old making games at home if you make devlogs. That's 100% fine. If they're entertaining, if they're well edited, people will watch them. The last big advantage of devlogs is that comparably they are a pretty low time investment, because you can just do what you would do anyways, right? You can just work on your game and you can turn that into a video. That is awesome, because for the other two types of videos, you cannot do that. Devlogs save you a little bit of time here. The one disadvantage of devlogs is that you do have the most competition. There are a lot of devlogs out there already, so your quality needs to be somewhat high in order to make it. If you want to get some inspiration of how a good devlog can look like, I highly recommend you check out Thin Matrix and Blackthorn Prod. They both make excellent devlogs. Danny as well. Check out those channels. If there's enough space in the description, I'll link them in the description. Then the next kind of content you can make on YouTube as a game developer is educational content. And with that, I don't mean tutorials. I mean videos like this, where you just talk to the camera, share your experiences, share what you've learned, talk about game design, talk about game development, talk about marketing, or whatever you want. Those are what I would call educational videos. The big advantage of making educational videos on YouTube is that there's not a lot of competition yet. You can count the amount of channels that do educational videos on game development on one or two hands, probably. There's Game Maker's Toolkit, Extra Credits, Tim Ruswick, Thomas Brush, and probably a couple more. Ask Game Dev. There are a couple more for sure, but compared to the other fields, the competition is very low. So you have a decent chance of reaching an audience if, and here we come to the disadvantage, if you have some credibility, because that's one of the disadvantages of making educational videos. People will only listen to you if they think you know what you're talking about, which I guess makes sense, right? I've definitely felt that the moment I published Islanders, the moment it became clear that that game did pretty decently well on Steam, people started listening to my advice a lot more, and a lot of my educational videos were watched a lot more, simply because it gave me a credibility boost. Suddenly I was not a random dude talking about game design anymore. I was a co-creator of Islanders talking about game design, and people were a lot more interested in listening to that. Not sure if that's 100% true, but it definitely feels that way, and in my head that makes a lot of sense. If you want to educate people, if you want to teach people, then you need a little bit of credibility, either in the forms of games you've made in the past or just in the way you present yourself. It needs to look or feel somewhat professional in order for people to be interested in listening to you. The last proven kind of video you can make as a game developer are, of course, tutorials. Tutorials are a little bit strange because there are a ton of tutorials out there. There are so many tutorials out there. However, there are not a lot of good tutorials out there. In fact, there are very little good tutorials out there. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you can make a really good tutorial, if you can make the #1 tutorial on any topic, people will watch it and you will get a lot of views, and it will absolutely work wonders for your channel. And of course, if it's a relevant topic, right? However, if you make a bad tutorial, then it will just absolutely get drowned in the amount of tutorials out there and nobody will watch it. So yeah, I feel like tutorials are worth it if you can make good ones. Otherwise, don't bother. Of course, there are tons of other kinds of videos you could make. Really just get creative, do whatever you want, change those formulas. Those are just the 3 main types of videos I found that really work in this game development niche. Tutorials, devlogs, and educational videos about game development. Okay, now let's get to the elephant in the room. I'm sure this is what most of you will be most interested in. How do you grow on YouTube as a game developer? And honestly, this is pretty much the same for every YouTuber, no matter whether you're a game developer or not. The #1 thing, or the only thing you need to do in order to grow on YouTube, is you need to provide a lot of nicely packaged, densely packed value for a lot of people. And every single part of that term has its own meaning, and I will break that down for you. I feel like some people go into YouTube with the assumption that it is for them. They are in YouTube because they want to get something from it. And of course, that is completely fine. You can go into YouTube expecting to get a return on investment. You should get something for your work, don't get me wrong. However, people will not watch your videos just to help you out. People will only watch your videos if they get something out of watching them as well. They will not just watch them for the sake of making you happy. That will not happen. That is the number one thing you need to understand. If you want people to watch your videos, if you want people to consistently watch your videos, you need to make videos that are actually worth watching. That's why I came up with this phrase. You need to provide a lot of nicely packaged, densely packed value for a lot of people. I feel like that describes pretty well what you need to do. Let's actually start out with value, because that is clearly the number one keyword in that entire phrase. There are a lot of different kinds of value you can provide to your viewers, but you need to provide value in your videos, otherwise nobody will watch them. The kinds of values you can provide are joy, entertainment, information, motivation, inspiration, like the feeling of adventure, the fact that you tell a story, or just certain feelings. People really like certain feelings like nostalgia or just emotional stuff. People like emotional stuff. You can teach people how to do certain things. You can just entertain them. But there needs to be value in your video. People need to get something out of watching your video. And you actually need to design your videos around that. You need to make sure that you know which value your video provides, because you then need to pitch that value to the viewer. Number two, nicely packaged. Nicely packaged means thumbnail, title, and the first seconds of the video. You need to pitch the value you'll provide in the video, in the thumbnail, in the title, and in the first seconds of the video. For example, take this video, right? People see how to YouTube for game developers or something like that. They see the thumbnail and they click on the video. Then the first seconds of the video confirm, yes, you've clicked on the right video. This video will actually deliver on what you wanted to see, that being information on how to make it on YouTube as a game developer. Then the rest of the video is just value, talking about that exact thing. The value you provide and the packaging of the content, the thumbnail, the title, and the first seconds of the video, they need to match. They need to fit together, obviously. Otherwise, people will not finish watching your videos, which will send very bad signals to YouTube, and they will stop promoting your video. So just make sure people know exactly what they'll get from watching your video, and then make sure they actually get what they're looking for when watching your video. You can also communicate that in a very indirect way. For example, if the main value of your video is entertainment, then you have a lot more freedom with your title. If the main value of your video is entertainment, it should sound like an entertaining title, right? First part, a lot of. First of all, you need to make a lot of videos. The reason why you need to make a lot of videos is because it just helps to grow your channel exponentially. Your old videos will keep getting views. Those people will then watch the new videos, or the people who saw your new videos will then watch the old videos. That just boosts your entire channel up. So the more videos you have, the more views you will get. And then of course the second point is that the more videos you make, the better you get at making videos. I think that is in fact the number one reason why most channels take off exponentially. Believe me, once you've edited 100, 200 YouTube videos, you'll be a lot better at it, your videos will be a lot better, and more people will watch them as a result of that. But a lot of also has another meaning, which is make long videos whenever you can. What YouTube cares most about is watch time, how long people watch the video. So the longer the videos are, the more watch time you will usually get. Longer video, of course, means that you also have to put more value into them. You can't just unnecessarily stretch your videos into a 60-minute video or something. There needs to be something useful in there, otherwise nobody will watch it. I want to note here that quality on YouTube is more important than quantity, definitely. However, quantity still matters, and oftentimes also quality comes from quantity. Okay, a lot of covered. Then you also want to make sure that value is densely packed, because people really value their time. Nobody likes their time being wasted. That's why I say don't unnecessarily stretch your videos. I know in my videos that also happens sometimes. It's hard to judge. I'm still learning, as I've said. If you make a tutorial or if you make an informational video, just keep it as tight as possible. What really matters to viewers is the value you provide per minute or the value you provide per second. The more value you can stuff into 1 minute or into 1 second of video, the more useful your video will feel to the viewer. Keep the information density as high as possible. Keep the value density as high as possible. And then if you can, still make a long video despite all of that. Then what I mean with for a lot of people is that certain topics will just not interest some people. Let's just assume we make a hairstyling video for people with brown hair. There are a lot of people with brown hair out there, so a lot of people will find the video useful. A hairstyling video for people with red hair and small feet or something like that. Then your target audience is at some point is becoming too small and your video is not gonna matter as much. I'm a little concerned about that in this video as well here. For example, like how many game developers are there that want to start a YouTube channel? And of those, how many search for that in YouTube, right? Ideally, you want to go for topics that interest a lot of people. For example, what I've noticed is that a lot of people are interested in the Godot game engine at the moment. When I made my Godot video, a lot of people watched it. Yes, if you can provide a lot of value for somebody, that is great. But if that's only 3 or 4 people that value applies to, then it still doesn't matter, right? You want to make sure that the value you give applies or is useful for a lot of people or can be enjoyed by a lot of people. That's the magic formula. That's what you need to do in order to grow on YouTube. People will only click on your video when they think they'll get something out of it, and they'll only keep watching your video when they actually get something out of it. I feel like that's kind of a beautiful thing, right? The way to grow on YouTube is actually to help as many people as possible. The more people you manage to help, the more people's lives you improve with your videos, the more your channel will grow. It's beautiful. I have a couple more very quick tips for you before we finally get into the feedback section for your YouTube videos and your YouTube channels. Be authentic, be yourself. Don't be afraid to show yourself on camera. You don't necessarily need to show yourself on camera if you don't want to, but it definitely helps. It's definitely an advantage. Gives you more credibility. People believe you more. It's easier for people to sympathize with you. The internet is actually surprisingly nice, especially the game development community. The game development community is really, really nice and welcoming. So there's not a lot to be afraid of. Then the sound of your video matters more than the visuals. That's something to keep in mind. If you have a crap camera, at least make sure that you have decent sound. What also matters a lot is efficiency. You don't want to waste too much time on making your videos. You want to make sure that you figure out a workflow that allows you to make videos quickly. Otherwise, you will not have any more time to make games. Optimize for watch time. I've already scratched on that a little bit, but that's a really important one. As I've said, YouTube optimizes around watch time. The longer people watch your videos, the more YouTube will promote your videos, especially at the beginning of the video. You want to put a lot of effort into the beginning of your video, because that's where most people usually click away. If you can hook people in the beginning, if you can keep people watching in the beginning of your video, they're much more likely to watch the entirety of your video. So at the beginning, as I've said, you want to pitch the value. You want to have a hook, something that makes people curious, something that keeps people watching. And something that I've also found pretty effective is surprising people at the beginning of the video. And then during the video, the number one thing you can do to keep people watching is to mix it up every now and then. Ways to mix it up is to change the camera angle, to switch the music, just to do unexpected things. And I think a good rule of thumb is that at least once a minute, or better even at least every 30 seconds, you want to switch something major up, break the pattern.
What do you need to do to keep people's attention nowadays? What do you need to do to keep them watching? Let me introduce you to the pattern break. Oh no, this is the washing room.
Because that is what keeps videos interesting.
Because whenever something unexpected happens, people suddenly start paying attention again. That's why pattern breaks are so important.
And then the last big thing that matters when you want to grow on YouTube is consistency. Just keep making videos, keep pumping them out. Sure, you can take a break, but you know what I mean. Then I have another 2 small tips that I feel like will definitely help you out on your journey. The first one is come up with the video title before you start recording your videos. That just makes sure the entire experience from title, thumbnail, and the topic of the video will feel a lot more coherent. I feel like doing it the other way around, making the video first and then trying to find a title and a thumbnail that matches those topics is a lot more challenging. I can definitely recommend the workflow of come up with a video title first and then start recording the video, because then it will be a lot easier to figure out what the introduction of the video should be, etc, etc. Then the second tip I want to give you is chill out about the numbers. They're definitely gonna go up, they're gonna go down, and in the beginning they're gonna go nowhere. Like, it might very well be possible that you'll be uploading videos for 1 year and just get 100 subscribers. Doesn't matter, because as I've mentioned, growth on YouTube is exponential. Perhaps you'll get 100 subscribers in the first year and 1000 in the second year. Also be aware that oftentimes the numbers actually go down, meaning oftentimes you don't do anything differently and the numbers just start dropping. You're getting less views, less subscribers. It feels like everything's going downwards. Rest assured, it can't always go up. It's very normal that the curves goes up and down. So chill out about the numbers. What I've seen is that every time after the numbers go down, the next time they go up, they go even higher than before. So yeah, just chill out about the numbers. It's really easy to obsess about numbers and let them affect your emotional state, let them affect your happiness or your motivation levels. Don't let the numbers affect you in any way. Houston, we have a problem. These are all of the YouTube channels you've sent me, 42. I expected a lot less. I kind of want to show all of them, so apologies. We'll have to go quite quickly. We'll turn this into a speed round. I'll give 1 or 2 pieces of advice per channel, and then we'll move on to the next channel. Also, I'll try to link all of the channels in the description. I'm not sure if there's enough space there. I mean, there's a character limit for the description. If I can, I'll put them all in there. If you want to help each other out a little bit, I would highly encourage you to, at the very least, pick the 3 channels you like the most and subscribe to them, check them out. As I said, links are in the description, if I can fit them in there. This one is called Flávio Freitas.
Da hora essa transição de tela do Pokémon, hein? Pronto.
Okay, so this video is called Godot Pokemon Transitions How To. I feel like you could work on the title a little bit, how to make Pokemon screen transitions. What's a little bit of a shame for this thumbnail here is that I can't really see the screen transition right. I like that there are subtitles. If you make tutorials in a different language than English, of course there's a lot less competition and sometimes that can be very, very beneficial. I've mentioned before, right, the first seconds of a video I think are very important. For me personally, I feel like it takes too long to see what this video is about. Let's count on the seconds timer. Okay, so 7 seconds before the transition starts. In my opinion, that's too long. At that point, a lot of people will already have clicked away. I think I've shown this a couple of times, but the way I design my thumbnails, I create a bunch of thumbnails for every video. Here, you see I create about 10 different thumbnails for every video, slightly different variations. And then the good thing about that is that I can pick the best one in the end. Subscribe to Doc Frankenstein. First thing I can see here is that the thumbnails don't look very inviting to me personally. They look a little, yeah, too much visual clutter, not as clean. I like that title, but the title does not go well together with the thumbnail in this case, A Weekend of Game Dev. And then you see some red text that you can't read, and a cat and a garden. So that thumbnail communicates something completely different. Let's check out the first seconds of the video.
Hello stranger, welcome to this failed video.
I actually like the humor. I feel like this is quite fun. But then once again the video starts out with plants, with gardening, which of course, as I've said, it's cool to surprise people and to perhaps start the video with something that they didn't expect. But like after a thumbnail like that, it's not then that unexpected anymore.
Then I had some problems with my microphone because the quality sucked for a little moment, and I
can actually see this going places with a little faster paced editing.
And remember.
And see, that is actually a very cool, nice, interesting shot that has a lot of character. Why not put that further at the beginning? Because that feels like it has a lot more to do with game development than this opening shot right here. And it kind of tells something about you. It's definitely more interesting to look at and more on topic than this opening and then showing your bed for some reason. Jalecko, I'm already subscribed, very nice. Yeah, I think I already saw the last video, which was kind of nicely edited.
Sir, we are the IRS. You didn't do your taxes. What do you mean? You got a $2 donation on your itch.io and you didn't fill it out on your tax form. So now we're here to
Oh, hey, Jalecko.
That's how you pronounce it. It's pretty funny, I like it. It's just too slow paced. It needs way faster editing. Make this twice as fast. And then, of course, you need to make sure that the value you're pitching in your title actually matches the value of the video, right? I've already watched the first 50 seconds of the video, and so far we haven't made a game in Pico 8. I'm sure you'll get there eventually, right? But at that point, the people that were interested in Pico 8 have already clicked away. Also, the title is not 100% clear on what this video is. Like, you could either add a how-to make a game in Pico 8, which I think is not what this video is. So if this is a little more of an entertainment-based video, then you could call it something like the madness of making a game in Pico 8 or something along those lines. Because I feel like that would just communicate a lot better what the video is about. Unfortunately, I really feel like I can only scratch the surface for a lot of these channels. Just because there's so many. Peabrainiac, okay, that's a cool name. And what I see here is already some very promising thumbnails here. That is the kind of simplicity that combined with the correct title can do really well on YouTube, I feel like. Same goes for this. Ramp up the contrast, the saturation a bit so it pops a little more. So let's see what the titles say. OpenGL game Devlog 8, water and other liquids. That for some reason sounds a little dry to me. It clearly says that it is a devlog. However, it sounds very technical, so I already feel like it will be a very technical devlog and not an entertaining devlog. But let's see if I'm right about that.
Hello everyone and welcome to another OpenGL game devlog. And yeah, I can move it around by deleting a few blocks. It just slowly flows into place. That is very impressive. That is a very cool water system. In terms of the video, I'm not sure what the kind of value this video brings is. So what does the viewer get out of watching this video? So far provides neither information nor entertainment. And it just shows the progress the developer made on this game, which is quite nice. But of course, it's not the kind of content that does well on YouTube. And I think that's looking pretty nice already, especially the flow animation right there. Yeah, it looks very nice. Let's check out one of your other videos. 3D fractal ray marching devlog. Once again, it says devlog, but it sounds like a very dry devlog. Maybe you should think about title like 3D fractal ray marching explained or tutorial or something like that. 3D fractals with WebGL. Once again, probably a very dry devlog that neither explains me how this works nor provides any entertainment. Okay, hello everyone and welcome to another video. This week I've been working on yet another side project of mine, which is this 3D Fractal Explorer. Looks very nice. Yeah, big props for you to making something like this. Looks really cool. Just my main tip for you, think a little more about what the viewer will actually get out of the video. Is it information? Is it entertainment? How can you help viewers with your videos? And then be a little more precise about that in the titles as well. I feel like this could go places. Astoaria. Oh, look at that. That looks quite juicy. I like those thumbnails. Ramp up the saturation, zoom in a little more. Like, for example, only show a part of that mill. Play around with the composition on these thumbnails a bit. I feel like there's still a little bit too much clutter, but in general, this already looks very clickable. Also, putting the Unity logo here, perhaps a good idea. New features, game development, Devlog 7. Okay, so what this title tells me is this is a video where you show off the new features in your game. What is the kind of value you're pitching to the viewer with that? I mean, that is probably interesting for people who are making games with Unity, who want to see what you can do in Unity. And then, of course, for people who've already watched one of your previous videos and want to see the progress you made, watching that feeling of progress, that feeling of being in the loop is value as well. But the catch here is that, of course, you have to get people invested in your game first. You have to get people watching your videos first. So once they start caring about your game and about you, then it's a lot more likely that they'll watch content like this as well.
We're gonna need a flashlight, so let's craft it. Let me go into tools. Oh, we need an apple and a knife to craft it. It's kind of realistic. I like it. Yeah, that's good. Hello there and welcome.
I'm not quite sure about that opening section. Wanna see the new features, right? That's what your title says, new features. And then the first seconds just feel like a little bit of a slow let's play where I don't really understand anything because I haven't seen this game before. This game looks beautiful. It looks pretty nice already, which instantly gives you a lot more credibility. So if I see a game like this, I'm a lot more likely to keep watching, of course, because I can see, okay, this is a developer who knows what he's doing and I want to learn from him. I want to learn from your mistakes, from what you did. So that is, of course, a plus.
Hello there and welcome. This is a devlog number 7. It's going good here and making some progress, even though it's really hot here in Italy and kind of makes you feel tired sometimes.
A little bit of music perhaps could help juice this up a little bit. Other than that, I like this a lot. Would like this a lot better as an opening. I feel like that feels a lot more personal. Hello there.
Hello there. Make sure to subscribe because it's going to be funny.
Giving people a reason because it's gonna be funny is definitely a lot better and more promising than just saying, so subscribe.
So the aim of it is to warm you whenever you land on a cold island.
Yeah, so this already more interesting than average. There's definitely some value to be had here. Bro, what the hell? That's a really cool opening shot. Why didn't you use this as an opening shot? That's awesome.
The model, I added a particle system which changed color over time. And
I would always encourage you, if you make devlogs like these, definitely talk about the things that go through your mind. Talk about the things that went wrong. Talk about mistakes you've made. People love that because mistakes are something you can learn from and also makes you a little more sympathetic because you're talking about mistakes you've made. You're not like, oh, look at me, I'm so awesome. If you made any interesting mistakes, then talk about them. Mistakes are gold in devlogs. Okay, I feel like there's more to be said about this channel. There's probably more feedback I could give, but we have to move on. Codarza looks like a tutorial channel. Advice number 1, make more videos. How to create an editor tool in Unity to randomize objects. Is that something people are searching for? First of all, the title's a bit too long. Perhaps just how to randomize objects or how to randomize meshes in Unity. And also it's too zoomed out to see anything. You can't really see what's going on here. I would always try to zoom in as much as possible on these thumbnails because as you can see here, they're very small on the screen. So for example, I'm not sure what you're randomizing here. Are those cars or something like that? In case those are cars, why don't you just show 3 random cars or something like that on the thumbnail? Tiny stuff like that looks really complex and complicated. Secondly, there's a lot of visual clutter and it's a little hard to stand out with that. Codarza.
Hello guys, you're watching Codarza and my name is Jacob. This video will be about how to use custom editor scripts to make, for example, placing similar objects in your scene more comfortable for you.
I like that. He's pitching the value of the video right away. He's telling you what will you get out of watching this video, which in turn makes it a lot more likely that the people who are actually interested in this will keep watching the video. Only thing that doesn't quite work for me right now is the title and the thumbnail. Also, I'm not sure how, as I said, I'm not sure how many people are searching for tutorials for this specific problem. That's a little bit of a question as well.
Which randomly activates only one child of this game object.
It's a useful tutorial. This is awesome. This is actually providing value. Perhaps I would consider removing that intro here. It's a nice looking intro. I like it. But what's the purpose of the intro? Brand building or something like that. I feel like at this point in a YouTube channel, there's no purpose to showing a logo first thing when people click on your video, because the first couple of seconds of a video are just so important, and if you're unlucky, people will click away before your intro is over. So starting right here, pitching your value as quickly as possible is the best thing you can do with a tutorial like this. By the way, the very same thing applies to entertainment videos. The main value you're pitching is entertainment, then you want to put something very entertaining at the beginning of the video so people can see, okay, this video will entertain me. I keep hammering down the same points because they're really important and most people don't execute on them correctly.
Hello guys, you're watching Codarza and my name is Jacob. Welcome back to the third.
Nice. Start talking while the intro is running. I feel like that is actually a cool way to go about it. Mikey Cee 613. That rhymes. Okay, see here, key navigation with arrow keys in Unity. Easy Unity tutorial. That's a good title. It pitches the value correctly. Honestly, I'd just get rid of the text in this thumbnail and just these arrows together with the menu a little bigger in the center of this thumbnail. This text is too small, I feel like. Other than that, this does a very good job of pitching me the value. Perhaps you could have spent a little bit of time coloring that menu, for example, just giving it a green background, making the buttons blue, just giving it a little bit of a nicer color scheme so it doesn't look as dry. Because a menu that looks like this instantly decreases your credibility. When you see something like that, people are like, oh no, I don't want a menu that looks like that, please, no. So if you can make your menu look a little nicer for the tutorial, I feel like that will increase the chance for people to keep watching. Oh no, I'm sure this is copyrighted music. I'm out of here. Okay, that was already one piece of advice here. I'll subscribe to you. Firebelley, indie game devlog, quest designer and resolution. It's one of those videos that doesn't really have a direct value to viewers who watch your videos for the first time. This kind of video has value to the viewers who have been following the development of your game for a while and are invested in the development of your game. Thumbnail could be a little more zoomed in on whatever's in the center here, for example.
Hello, welcome back to this Devlogs.
There's like 1 second at the beginning where you're not talking, just cut that out.
Hello, welcome back to... So if you've been following the devlogs, you'll probably notice immediately that a few things have changed on screen.
Here's another piece of advice for devlogs. Don't assume that everybody has already seen your previous devlogs, because if you do that, then you won't be able to grow your audience. So what you want to do in your devlogs is you want to pretend like this is the first video people will watch. For example, just explain your game real quick. What are you making? Who are you? Just... if you can explain that really quickly in 1 or 2 sentences, new viewers will feel a lot more welcome, and the viewers who've been following your channel for a long time won't really be bothered by that. So I feel like it's definitely worth it to just make sure you get everybody up to speed and people who haven't seen your previous devlogs know what's going on.
And that's it. So that's the only stages that are in the quest. The rewards system is not tied in yet. So I'll go into how I'm actually making the quest system.
If you want to show people the quest system you're using in your game, just always think, how can you present this in a way so people will get the most amount of value out of this? For example, tell them, I want to show you my quest system. Maybe there's something interesting in there for you that you can use for your own games. If you use the word you more often in your videos, people will feel more like you're making the videos for them and not for yourself.
The entire game has a max resolution of 640 by 360.
This looks like a section that is probably useful for people who are using Godot and who can learn from you how you did certain things. But Godot is not even in the title. And as far as I can remember, also not in the thumbnail. Maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity. Yeah, this is going into a very tutorial-ish direction. So perhaps that is a little bit mislabeled as well, right? Valem VR. Oh, you've got quite a nice subscriber count already on. In fact, I'm already subscribed to you. That's funny. Here, the thumbnails already look very nice, clean and crisp. We can see a video with 22,000 views, which is quite nice. 6,000 views. And you can see the amount of views is really attached to the quality of the thumbnails. This is a very nice looking thumbnail. The thumbnail here says, making my own Tetris. The title says, coding my own Tetris in Unity. So this gives me a very clear indication of what this video will be about, what the value is. I'll probably learn roughly how to make Tetris in Unity, and I'll see the progress of making this game over the course of 13 minutes or whatever that is.
We've been playing Tetris for 35 years now. Whether I have the success of this game, I'm going to find out today by making my own version using the Unity game engine.
Very nice. See, first 10 seconds, we've already been pitched the value. Nice Tetris introduction, how to make a door in VR, Unity tutorial.
Making realistic physics in virtual reality is a big time waster, but luckily for you, I'm going to show you in this video a nice trick that you can use in your game to easily make doors, levers, and drawers without any trouble.
You've heard it. Perfect introduction. Very nicely done. If you want to learn more about VR, if you want to get started with VR, check out the channel of Valem. Just keep making videos. I'm sure your channel will keep growing. You're on a very good path. I like it. Mattabulous. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the discussion I did with Mattabulous.
Hello everyone, my name is Matt, or Mattabulous, and I'm a 16-year-old indie game developer. This is episode 8, and this is being recorded on the 6th of August, 2019.
So, Mattabulous interviewed a bunch of cool people already, like Danny, Suspicious Ducks, and Blackthorn Prod. Here, look, this is a little bit of a wasted opportunity. If you already have Blackthorn Prod in your video, then make it a bit more recognizable here. This is too small, too detailed, like Blackthorn Prod's fans will probably just scroll past it without even realizing that this is a Blackthorn Prod video. What I would say is, these episodes could probably benefit from just editing out the first 10 seconds or something like that. Just jumping right into the into the talk, into the discussion, and then hopefully people will get to know you that way.
Hello everyone, my name is Matt, or Mattabulous, and I'm a 16-year-old indie game developer. This is episode 7, and this is...
By the way, props for you for making videos like this at 16 years old. This already looks promising.
Being recorded on the 17th of July.
Like, people are not really gonna care when this was recorded. Just wanna get into the interesting stuff. Perhaps start off these chats directly with an interesting question to whoever you're talking with. Like, put the most interesting question first, right at the beginning of the video. Start with a hook, keep people watching. You somehow need to figure out a way to keep people watching, because I think there's actually a lot of interesting and cool stuff in there in these discussions. Just gotta find a way to get people to that point. And then of course you have a couple of devlogs here as well. Once again, apologies, we'll just move on. 21 Game Dev, subscribe. How I missed the Kenny Jam deadline. I kinda like that title because it says, okay, I messed up. Like, the fitting thumbnail for that would probably be a face that goes like this. In classical YouTuber fashion. Instead, we just have a screenshot, which, as I've said, doesn't feel very high effort and therefore doesn't feel like a very high effort video. Ten-second intro, I can't recommend that, especially not before you have pitched the value. Pitch the value of the video first, and then if you absolutely have to, then show your intro. Okay, so what I expected going into this video is a voice that tells me a funny story about how you managed to miss the deadline for this game jam. That hope was disappointed a little bit, but at the very least I have something interesting to look at here. I have some chill music in the background, so this could definitely be worse. Okay, no talking. So this is just a time-lapse video of you making games. The reason why I think this content does not have a lot of chances to succeed on YouTube is because it doesn't provide a lot of values to viewers. The only thing it does is it kind of gives you that feeling, that sense of progression. It's something nice to look at, and it's a nice atmosphere with some chill music in the background. So yes, there's some value there, but I think for most people, the time investment for the value you get is just not gonna be worth it. Unity game prototyping devlog. Yeah, this is something I seem to see a lot. Unity game prototyping videos start off with something that sounds like it could make for a great tutorial, but then for some reason people just put devlog behind that. I feel like that makes these titles super confusing, because first part of the title sounds like a tutorial, but then it says devlog. So which one is it, right? Okay, I think you're getting the idea. I certainly wish you the best of luck. I think, oh my god, this is a beautiful thumbnail, by the way. What is this video? Unreal Engine 4 making a level using platform pack. Okay, so this is using, it's a nice thumbnail. And once again, it's just time-lapse without talking. I feel like these videos could benefit a lot from you talking over the time-lapse, just explaining what you did and why you did what you did, what went wrong, what was your thought process going through this, what was your experience, can you recommend using this asset pack or whatever, what have you learned from doing so. If you just tell us a little bit about while we watch you, then the value density of your video increases, right? Because then we have the value of watching this beautiful video, of watching your beautiful creations, of the chill atmosphere, but we get told something interesting on top of that. We hear some of the stories and we can learn from some of the things you did. So voiceover would drastically increase the value of these videos, and I feel like would make them a lot more watchable. Peabrainiac, Unity custom editors handles tutorial. That is very specific and is probably useful for people searching that exact term. A little bit specific, nice thumbnail.
Have you ever needed something that would make your life easy when you're doing level design or UI design or something related to scene view in Unity?
I like that you're showing your face. That makes you instantly more sympathetic. I also can see what you're doing here. You're trying to make an interesting introduction. Just needs to be a little bit faster. I would try to get to the point a little faster. Other than that, well done. No time to keep watching. I would like to, but we have to move on. PocketMars, here we go. Videos. The making of The Only Outlaw, GMT Gay Game Jam 2019. Decent title. It tells me what to expect. Thumbnail, slightly too much clutter.
I started off my summer with the Extra Credits Game Jam, and now I'm ending my summer with a GMTK Game Jam, which was a 48-hour-long jam hosted by the Game Maker's Toolkit YouTube channel that took place last weekend. In this video, I'm going to explain how I made the only outlaw my entry for the jam in the Unity game engine.
Nice, very nice introduction into the video. Gave me exactly what I'm looking for. It gave me what I've expected when I clicked on this video, and it's actually quite nicely edited. It has a lot of cuts, a lot of pattern breaks, and that makes the video quite interesting to watch. That makes it feel quite high quality. PocketMars.
GMTK always comes up with the best themes for their jams, so I was really looking forward to participating this year. But when the jam began and
So this feels like a story. This feels like somebody telling us his experience with the jam, walking us through what happened, what went wrong. This feels a bit more like an emotional journey. It feels more emotional. It doesn't feel as dry as some of the other game devlogs. It has some nice music in the background. I really like it. I like it. It has personality.
Theme was revealed to be only one, I was stumped. Most of my ideas were either too unoriginal, too vague.
Here, there are certain things PocketMars is struggling with, and now I'm curious, well, how will he overcome these issues? And it's interesting to watch.
This caused me to remember a minigame from Super Mario 64 DS called Wanted, where you have a limited amount of time to find a specific character in a crowd. I started off by creating a simple crosshair sprite and making it follow the mouse cursor. I gave the cross.
And yes, he's basically just doing what a lot of other devlogs are doing, that being showing off certain progress, but he's editing it really quickly. It's not getting stuck on a specific recording forever. It just feels like it's quick progress and you're getting told interesting things at the same time. Yeah, I feel like this is how you do entertaining devlogs. Well done, PocketMars. I mean, there are only 5 videos so far. I'm 100% sure if you keep making videos like these, like if you build up a bank of 100 or maybe just 50 of these videos, your channel will do really well. You have only uploaded 5 videos and your latest video already has 500 views. That is amazing performance. Like most game dev channels don't do nearly as good. I didn't do as good for sure. So this looks promising. Keep going. Billy Man. Oh, I haven't subscribed yet. And of course, there are a lot of very young people on YouTube as well, which I think is completely fine. One thing you just have to keep in mind when you're really young is that unfortunately, you get quite a credibility disadvantage. So if people hear a voice that is really high and sounds like the voice of somebody who's really young, then people are not gonna take you as seriously. But I feel like there are certain ways you can deal with that. You can just make videos that don't require people to take you seriously. You can just make humorous videos and of course entertainment-based videos. You can tell stories. My biggest recommendations for you, just embrace the fact that probably most people won't take you as serious. Think how you can use that to your advantage. Circle Connect Devlog 3. Background enemy dash attack implementation. I would really try to keep those titles as short as possible. What I do with my devlog titles a lot of the times is I don't even put the name of my game in there, because putting my game name into the title just makes the title so long. I really just try to find more interesting titles for my devlogs. Perhaps you can take some inspiration from that. Here, for example, my latest devlog is called 1 week of game dev equals question mark, question mark, question mark. I could have put will you snail in front of that, but that would have made the title a lot longer and way less elegant, so I didn't do that. If people who've never seen any of my videos read Will You Snail Indie Game Devlog, they don't care how my game is called.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So 1 week has gone by and that's enough time for my dash attack, enemies, and the background implementation. We'll go through each stuff, starting with the background. And I added some lightings as well to create a warm and sunny.
Like, a lot of this video already feels very professional. Like, I'm not exactly sure how old you are, but I'm pretty sure that at your age, I wasn't able to make videos that look this professional with all of these zooms and stuff like that.
And the trick to do this is from Blackthorn Prod.
Oh yeah, I can see some Blackthorn Prod art in here. Very, very nicely inspired by Blackthorn. Seriously, keep going, keep going. You're still young, you still have a lot of time. Be patient, keep at it, keep learning. If you can upload a bit more often, that's all you can do. Okay, New Edge Games. 10 subscribers, now 11. Quiet Devlog 6. Pathfinding. Like, you can clearly see that a lot of these videos have the same problems, struggle with the same issues once again. Thumbnail, not super clickable. Like, the thumbnails for devlogs are always quite tricky to figure out. It's this entertainment.
Hello, welcome to the 6th devlog of my sound-based stealth game Quiet. In this devlog...
Thanks for the introduction to your game. That sounds interesting. That's how it's done. Introduce people to your game.
I just want to talk about pretty much the only thing that I've been working on, which is pathfinding and implementing that with the enemy. Works pretty well. You know, sometimes whenever he hits...
Nice music, nice, I like it. Showing debug information on the screen, like a little bit of behind the scenes is interesting. My god, we have to... There's so much more. Philip Lindberg. Let's actually do a super duper speed round from here on out, okay? Looks awesome. Excellent opening into a video. Ah, this is a trailer. Oh, awesome. Wish you good luck with your game. Maybe this is not the most representative then. Game development time-lapse. Here, see, if you're making a game development time-lapse, then at the very least call it time-lapse so people know what they're getting into. I feel like this is a good way to do it. Philip Lindberg. Seems like a very talented guy here. This looks all very nice. Reece Geofroy. Why you should enter game jams. Very compelling title. Thumbnail can be improved. #1 tip. Make more thumbnails. Pick the best one.
Hey guys, so we're just going to be doing a quick little video on why you...
Props for showing yourself on camera. Bonus points for that.
...should be joining game jams. So for those of you...
Instantly pitching the value of the video. Very well done. Awesome. I like. And then just make sure... I'm not gonna watch this, but just make sure you're providing a lot of value quickly. Edit everything out that is not necessary. Like, for example, at the beginning here, there are just a couple of little frames that you could edit out. And editing out those little frames, those little pauses really makes a big difference. It just feels a lot more tight. It feels more professional and feels less like it's wasting your time.
Hey guys.
See, there's like half a second of a pause there. Remove it. Pixel Pete. I think this channel has grown quite nicely. It's a very catchy name. Like, having a catchy name for your channel is definitely a big advantage. Also, nice banner here at the top. Pixel Art 101, free college course, Game Boy. Okay, so this is gonna teach me how to make Game Boy pixel art. Will that video actually do that? Not a big fan of the intros. At the very least, it's a very short intro.
Welcome back. Have you ever wanted to...
Oh, nice quality audio, showing yourself on camera. Bonus points, bonus points, bonus points everywhere.
Learn how to draw Game Boy style art? Well, we're
pitching the value as quickly as possible, or at the very least before the 10 seconds mark.
Going to.
It's good.
Let's get to it. I'm one of the pixel artists working on Dword.
And then also as a sign of credibility, instantly showing something that looks really, really epic. So at this point, you're already like, oh my god, this guy is gonna teach me how to make art. Awesome, I wanna learn from that guy. Perfect. That's what you want. You want to pitch the value as quickly as possible, and you want to make sure that people know you're a credible source, somebody you can learn from. I would watch more, once again, if I weren't that short on time. CodeGaff. Go Hedgehog Rangers, Unity, Indie Game Roguelike Game, Devlog 10, CodeGaff Devlog. The title is way too long and it is not very clear what this video is. Make it more clear. Enemy Combat AI. Unity Indie Game Devlog. Once again, one of those videos that sounds like a tutorial at first, but then puts devlog after that to ultimately confuse people or to make it sound like a very dry, boring devlog. A little bit of a long intro. I feel like this is an interesting intro. Definitely unexpected. Unexpected is good.
Interesting mechanics that I added along the way. But before we get into any of that, if you want to follow me along on my epic game dev journey, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can see here, to go from idle to combat, the condition is that
Okay, and then once again, some tutorial stuff in here, clearly. Some stuff that will be useful for people that use Unity, some behind the scenes stuff, some very technical stuff. But then there's no Unity in the title. Okay, there's Unity here as a hashtag, but those hashtags don't really... YouTube doesn't really care about those hashtags at all, for what I can tell. If you get really technical and if you make a video that is useful for Unity users, then why not make that clear? Avidi, oh yeah, he's making a very cool mobile game. I know his channel, and he makes very good devlogs. Talking about his game, let's see how he names his videos. 3 years working on the same game. This is a very good title. And now if the first seconds of the video about that topic as well and kind of tell an interesting story, then I like.
Oh, welcome back guys. My upload consistency has unfortunately gone to shit, and I don't really kind of upload in any sort of schedule at the moment. I kind of just sporadically post a video. When I look at my channel and I see that I haven't...
Okay, this is not directly pitching the value, but I feel like this is still not all that bad. This is still kind of interesting because it is sharing some of the struggles this game developer has. It's sharing some of the thoughts. It feels a little more emotional, feels a little more like a story. Not the best intro I've ever seen, not the worst intro I've ever seen. You can do a lot worse than this.
on and start uploading. But hopefully in the future I can change that. But let's get right into the video.
And then if at the 20 seconds mark you catch yourself saying, let's get right into the video, then you know that perhaps you should just remove those 20 seconds.
3 years of consistent work on the same game.
And then here we get slowly into the topic and so on. I like this. Very nice. DitzelGames. Procedural destroy in Unity. Lazy tutorial. I like that. And look at that. It was 2 days ago and already has 800 views. Okay, given it's already a little bit of a bigger channel.
Let's destroy something. But procedural, you know? Create a cube, create a script, grab a knife, create a part mesh class and...
Awesome. This is entertaining and at the same time informative. It's only 1 minute long, but it's densely packed with value, I can already tell, so I want to keep watching.
Our cutting plane. Put back the knife. Did you really think we need that? Grab all triangles.
Okay, this is getting a little bit technical and I'm not sure if people will be able to understand this quickly. Perhaps putting a download link of the project in the description would be a good solution to fix that problem. Oh yeah, and it is. Perfect. That basically pitches the value of the video within the first second. There is no faster way to pitch the value of the video.
Let's destroy something. But
let's destroy something. Blake McKinnon production. Sorry, I'll have to figure out a way to go even faster. Looking back at my first day learning Unity. Looks like a very clickable video. I don't know why it doesn't have a lot of views. Let's check it out.
Hello and welcome to Blake McKinnon Productions. My name is Blake McKinnon and today I'm going to be talking about my first day learning Unity 6.5 months ago.
Bonus points for showing your face. Would get even more bonus points for not talking as much like a robot. Use your hands a little bit, maybe smile.
6.5 months ago.
I'm not a big fan of intros because I feel like they're making it more difficult for you.
I've decided to make a different kind of video this week as Bloodbreed's development has been moving along pretty slowly and there's not much.
This game looks awesome, instantly makes you look very credible. I like that you show this early on. Like 24 seconds already almost a little bit late. You could have shown that even earlier. This looks very, very good and gives me the feeling that you're a very credible game developer and that I want to listen to what you've got to say. So why not show this a bit earlier, you know? DevRoot, subscribe. Fish flocking system, fish simulator project update. Yeah, good job. Perhaps show the fish a little more in close-up. Uploaded 1 week ago, already has 500 views with just 24 subscribers, so I can clearly tell that this video did something very right, because usually that is not the amount of views you get with a channel of that size. The video starts out with a shot of these fish who are moving in these really nice ways. It's kind of an eye-catcher, makes you curious, gives the developer some credibility because this looks very nice. Looks very impressive. I'm impressed. Okay, and I think this will just show off what the fish can do, right? But if it's something that is visually very interesting to look at, then a video without voiceover obviously works as well. I'm not entirely sure whether it's possible to build an audience with just videos like this, but it's certainly possible to get views and attention with videos like this. If it's just some really visually appealing footage, I can see that working. There's some value to that, right? Hey, this is editing Jonas here. I want to surrender. Here's my capitulation. Unfortunately, I won't be able to finish editing the rest of this video, but rest assured it's pretty much more of the same issues. You've pretty much seen everything there's to see. My apologies for all of the channels that I didn't manage to cover, but hopefully you were still able to learn from all of the other channels and all of the other advice I gave. This is pretty much what it all comes down to. How many people can you help? How many people can you entertain with your videos? How well can you entertain people with your videos? How well can you educate people with your videos? And how time efficient are you with that? That is really what determines the success of your channel, and then how you pitch those things in the thumbnail and in the title. What I personally want to achieve with this video is a ton of new game development related channels on YouTube for me to watch. So keep making awesome videos, keep making even better videos. And I'm really looking forward to 1 year from now where like 10 of the channels I've shown off in this video have taken off and are at more subscribers than me. I'm really looking forward to that day. I've been hammering home about these points enough. I want to thank you all for watching and I'll see you in the next one.